Everybody always talks about the importance of a good morning routine. But what about the evening routine? Because a messed up evening routine means that you get poor sleep, you're anxious, you're not relaxed, and it sabotages a good morning routine. Because it's difficult to have a good morning routine if you're half asleep in the morning because of a bad evening routine. But the first step is figuring out where you're going wrong. There are some bad evening routines that can really undermine your sleep. So, I'm going to ask you, which one or more of these 14 evening routines do you have? First one is doom scrolling. So just scrolling on your phone late at night, social media, on and on when you should be going to sleep. Next one, this is Chinese characters. Maybe you can read Chinese, maybe you know what this says. It translates to revenge bedtime procrastination. This is when your whole day is made up with work or duties or responsibilities and you don't have any time for yourself, and you get to the end of the day and you should go to sleep, but instead you take revenge on the fact that you didn't have any time for yourself, and you end up watching TV, watching videos on your phone, and end up sabotaging your own sleep. But it's because you feel that subconsciously you haven't had any time to yourself. And this is also a very common phenomenon. And a lot of people don't even realize that's why they're doing it. They know they're up late. They know it doesn't help them. It doesn't help their sleep. But they don't put two and two together that it's because they haven't allowed themselves that time to themselves during the day. And that's the solution to this, to actually give yourself time during the day for things that you want to do and not just fill up your day with things that you should do. The next evening routine is the he chose poorly late night eater. So this is for he and she, but it's when you eat too much or eat too late. And obviously if you eat too much or too late, your digestion then affects your sleep and you have a poor night's sleep. So it's about making good food choices and eating choices in the evening. Next one is the bedtime KonMari. So this is Marie Kondo, the tidying or decluttering guru. And this is when you know you should go to sleep, it's time to go to sleep, but you feel this irresistible urge to clean up, to tidy up, to declutter, do things like that. I used to get this exam time. If I had an exam the next day, I'd have this sudden urge to just clean my space instead of studying. It's kind of a sort of procrastination or putting off what I should be doing. But a lot of people do this when they're about to sleep. So next one is the bed office. And this is something that's very common where you just take your laptop to bed and just want to do a little bit of work, maybe reply to a few emails, do a few things just before bed. And it's a very bad idea because what you're doing is you're sending your brain mixed messages or mixed signals about, is the bed for sleep or is it for work? And this will obviously have a negative effect on your ability to go to sleep. Okay, this next one is the box set or Netflix binge problem where you sit down, you go, I'm just going to watch one episode of my favorite show, and then next thing you know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and because each episode ends on a cliffhanger, you keep watching, and you end up 2 o'clock in the morning still going. Related to this is the just 15 minutes more bedtime gamer. So this is where you think, I'm just going to play games for 15 minutes before going to bed. No one can play games for just 15 minutes. You're going to end up playing well into the night. And related to this, like reading is actually one of the things I do recommend for people to help them go to sleep, is just getting a real physical book out and reading it just puts you in a mood to go to sleep. But the issue with fiction sometimes is the chapter ends on a cliffhanger, just one more chapter, one more chapter. It's very similar to the just one more episode, but it can then sabotage your sleep. A drink to relax. This one is also very common. I mean, a lot of these are common, but you get home from a very tough day at work and you think, I just want one glass of wine just to relax. But that one glass turns into 2, turns into 3, and then that messes up your sleep. Alcohol will mess up your sleep. You'll have a very disturbed sleep. You wake up the next day, you feel terrible. So always be wary of drinking to relax. This is one that I do and I have a big problem with. It's the late night problem solver. And basically, you're the guy with the suit looking over the chessboard. It's nighttime, you're meant to be going to sleep, and yet you're here trying to solve the big problems in your life. Now, I've done this a lot, and I don't think I've ever come up with a solution at night for a problem. It's always just repetitive ruminating, continuous thinking, but doesn't really serve its purpose. Yes, you want to be able to solve problems, but that's the wrong time to do it. It definitely does have a negative effect on your sleep. The pet bed. So I've heard this from many clients with pets where the pet disrupts their sleep. Same thing can happen with children when they share the bed with you, or they can also disrupt your sleep as well. Bedtime shopper. This is when you're up late at night on Amazon or other sites shopping and maybe even looking at reviews of things and investigating different products. This is something that can really go on deep into the night as well. Night owl resistance. I used to have this before. I don't have this now, but I used to have this before where I was always a night owl. And so if it was 9:30 and I felt sleepy, it was a real clash with my identity as someone who was a night owl. It was something that just didn't feel right. So I would put off going to sleep till a more normal time for me, which would be like 11, 11:30, midnight. The nighttime rabbit hole chaser. This is when you find an interesting topic and you're a curious sort of person. So you end up Googling things, you end up watching YouTube videos, you end up in Reddits, and you end up on obscure blogs. This is something that is obviously nice to do, but it will interfere with your sleep. And finally, the late night debate prepper. This is when you are having an argument, or you had an argument with someone, or you're going to argue with someone, and you start in your mind as you're going to sleep, rehearsing what you're going to say, or thinking about what they might say and thinking about how you'll respond to that. It's, again, the wrong time to be doing that. Okay, so a question for you. Which of these routines do you have, and how does it affect your sleep? Write your answers in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.